Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com. Today we're going to do a quick video to show you how to apply drywall compound onto new drywall walls. Some of the first things you're going to need is the drywall compound itself, which you can find at any hardware store. This is just a all-purpose drywall mud. Other tools you're going to need a drywall tray, and this is simply just to put small quantities of drywall compound into to work from. You're going to need an assortment of trowels. You're going to need a small 3-inch taping trowel, a 5 or 6-inch trowel, and then something maybe in the neighborhood of 8 or 10 inches. I also do have a trowel that's used for doing inside corners. You may like it, you may not, but it is a handy tool. There's a couple options when it comes to the tape itself. You have this type here that is a mesh fiberglass tape, and it can be simply rolled off of the roll, stuck to the wall, cut with a utility knife, and kind of saves you one step as far as applying a coat of mud to hold it on. Whereas this type, the paper tape, you will need a coat of mud to apply this type of tape, but again, it's pretty simple. Just rolls off, tear it with your hand, and apply it into the fresh compound. Near the end, what you're going to need is some sanding equipment to sand the excess compound off once it is dried. So you probably just want a small sponge like this and a hand sander with a sheet of the proper sandpaper on it for what you're doing. So we'll get ready and set up, and I'll show you how to apply first a paper bead on a straight butt joint. We're going to do an inside corner today and an outside corner. Okay, now we're ready to actually apply the compound to the wall and do our first tape. What I've done, I've already pre-mixed the mud and I put it into the tray that I'm going to use. For taping, you want your mud a little bit wetter than you would for your other coats. So for your main coats, I usually mix my mud with a little bit of water down to a sour cream type consistency. For the taping, again, you're just going to need a little bit more mud, which you can just add into your tray and mix in. So you want it just a little bit runnier than sour cream. I'm not sure if you can see this, but just gives you the idea of what I've got here. This helps because your tape and your drywall paper, when it absorbs so much water, you need a little extra moisture there to make it bond. We're working in a bathroom today, so that's why we've got the green aquaboard style drywall. It's more moisture and mold resistant. So a lot of you may not be doing a bathroom, so you'll just have your standard gray or white papered drywall. Today we've got the green, not a big issue. So you start out by applying the mud. We're going to be doing this joint right here, and we're going to apply the mud and then press our tape in there and squeeze off the excess mud. So basically I've got my 3-inch trowel, and you can put it on pretty liberally. Doesn't have to be real neat. I'm trying to center it basically on the seam in the drywall. So once you have it on there, you take your paper, press it onto the mud, just lightly with your fingers, and then you start by simply squeezing some of the excess mud out of there. You're going to drop some, not a big deal, it'll clean up. Once you have your first end kind of started, it's going to help hold itself in place for you. And again, just go along as it starts to squeeze out, wipe the excess off on your tray. Just moving along, being sure that the tape isn't wrinkling or folding all up. And just continue along. You want to be careful not to squeeze all the mud out. You still need some mud back there to bond properly. So just clean up the edges so there's no real huge excess. And you got it. That's your first coat, or applying the tape. Now we're going to go directly into doing our inside corner. and the principle is basically the same. I've pre-cut some paper to the right length for the height of the wall. The paper comes with a already started crease right in the center. So for the inside corner, you just need to bend it along that crease, just so you roughly get it already started on the bend. It'll just make it easier to apply. So I've got that pre-started. I'm just gonna do a short piece here just to show you. So you want to apply your mud, similar to what we did on the tape there. I'm just gonna smear it down the corner, just like so. I got to get both sides. So now I'm going to come down this side. You can see I'm putting it on quite liberally. It's better to have more in there than you need. You don't want to have not enough mud in there. Okay, so you can see I've got it applied there. Fairly thick, fairly sloppy looking, but we'll have that cleaned up right away. So now we've got our tape bent. I'm just going to gently press it back into the corner. Just run my finger lightly down there. And again, just as we did on the butt joint, I want to squeeze some of that mud out of there. So as the tape pushes against the wall, the excess mud comes out. It's fairly easy on the corner because your knife just rides right into the corner of the drywall, and generally not any problems there. Try not to put too much pressure right directly in the corner because the edge of your knife is sharp. It will cut that paper. It won't take you very long. You'll have the feel for that. So there's one inside corner. It's ready to go. So we've got our bevel flat joint done and our inside corner. Now we're going to do the outside corner. For the outside corner, they've got a pre-made product made up with paper, metal with paper bead, basically fastened right to it. Gives your corner some strength and durability for bangs and bumps. So that's what we're going to be using. Again, just as we did before, we've got to apply a good healthy coat of mud, and then we're going to press the corner into it and remove the excess. So we'll just apply the mud down the corner, both sides. Make sure you're getting a good heavy coat on there. Don't forget to thin your mud down so it's a little wetter than sour cream consistency. Takes a few seconds. We want to do the whole length. It's too difficult to do this in stages, so you got to do the whole length all in one shot. So okay, so I've got the mud all on there. I'm going to take my corner. In this case, we want it tight up to the ceiling, so I'm going to slide the corner all the way to the top until it butts into the drywall on the ceiling. Using my hand, I want to press that corner all the way tight, directly in, so we're making good contact. There is a roller apparatus you can buy strictly for doing outside corners. Now most of you aren't going to do a big enough project likely to justify $60 or so for that roller, so just use your fingers, make sure you're pressing in there. And it also helps ensure that your corner is straight and square. Now we've got it pressed on. I'm going to take my 3 knife again. You can see I'm using I don't know, about a 30-degree angle against the wall with my blade. Any steeper than that and you're probably going to squeeze too much of the mud out. So we're just working along both edges again. As your knife builds up with the excess mud, just wipe it back into your tray. Try not have to leave too many lumps and bumps around the edges to make it easier in the next steps ahead. Okay, just have a quick look, make sure your tape is all stuck on there. This one looks pretty good. Now we've got to let that dry, usually 6-8 hours, depending on your humidity and weather and that. It'll be dry enough to recoat. We've got some already set up in a different stage, so we're going to move on to them and show you the second coat of mud.